finish. That could be that the sprint finish has started already. Look at the pace Mola is putting down onto the cobbled streets of Rotterdam here. And Johnny Brownlee is sticking with it at the moment. The winner in Stockholm. Here they are in slow-mo across the drenched carpet of transition. The final installment of the season about to unfold here in Rotterdam. Still no decisive move. Somebody's got dropped.
That's Johnny Brownlee.
Johnny Brownlee unable to go with them. Vincent Louis glances behind him to see that Johnny Brownlee has become detached by 2 seconds. Brownlee has lost touch with the leaders.
I think Johnny taking that gel was a real sign of, I'm empty, I'm struggling, I've got to get around this last lap, I don't want to lose touch with these leaders. Anything goes at this point, let's take it and see what happens. But unfortunately, he has just become a couple of seconds detached from that group, and 5 has become 4.
Will it be a Spanish 1-2? Remember, Mola has to finish no worse than 5th to win the world title. So now that Johnny Brownlee has become detached, it's looking like it's Mola's crown for 2017, but there are still 1.67 Ks to run. The 2 Spaniards, the Norwegian and the Frenchman. These 4 will chase the 3 available medals at the grand final here in Rotterdam.
Well, what a tough way to finish an Olympic distance race with a mile-long sprint for home virtually, and it's going to be really, really tough. You know, I just don't think you can call it out of these 4. Christian Blumenfeld, for me, is an incredibly tough competitor. The class of Mola and Gomez, but I think Vincent Louis, perhaps a dark horse, just tucked in there. We know he can sprint. He had a sprint finish for that victory that he took in Hamburg back in 2015. So at the moment, it's tricky to call it, isn't it, Vicky?
Well, Vincent's the one who's had the least best results this year, if you see what I mean. 1 podium for the season. So for him, he's probably the darkest horse in this race right now, but he's played it very smart. He put in a little bit of a surge on the second lap on the run. Other than that, he's kept himself nicely tucked in. Only
Alistair Brownlee has won 5 World Series races in the same season in 2009. If Mola wins today, he will match the Olympic champion because he's already snatched 4 victories so far in 2017. Mola looking for his 5th. Of that front group, the only man who hasn't won a race is Christian Blumenfeld. Will it be his day today?
Oh, I wouldn't bet against him. I think it's going to be tough. I think when you won once, it becomes easier. So I think that, you know, is Blumenfeld going to just be really happy that he's up there? And as we speak now, he looks like he's making a bit of a run for home.
Blumenfeld's taking it on. He wants the win. He wants to finish the season with his first victory, as Henry Schoeman did in Cozumel 12 months ago. But Gomez has watched him like a hawk, and Gomez has gone with him, as have Vincent Louis, with Mario Mola just struggling to keep with the pace here.
Well, this is the same tactic that we heard Christian Blumenfeld talk about in the build-up to Stockholm. He wanted to drag this race out from a kilometre and a half before the finish. He's not as confident in his sprint finish as these other athletes. As I've said, I actually think he has got quite a good sprint finish, but he obviously doesn't have that confidence in himself. And you could see the exertion written all over his face then. He wasn't just feeling great and wanted to push it on. That was a real concerted effort to try and break the other men.
Vincent Louis kicks on with under a kilometre to run. The Frenchman, who has 1 World Series win to his name, ahead of the Norwegian, who has none, and the 5 times world champion Javier Gomez, who has plenty. Mario Mola forcing his way, trying to force his way back into contention, but it looks as at this stage as if Mola will not be involved with a sprint finish, which may unfold shortly.
Well, I think Mola will be disappointed not to take this race. He's going to keep his title from 2016. He will be crowned the 2017 world champion. But I think as the champion that he is, he wants to win the race as well, but he just can't go with these 3 athletes out in front right now.
You never want to win a title without winning a race or winning the race, and that will be in his mind. It's not completely gone yet. He hasn't been 100% detached from that group, but we are only 650 meters from the finish line now. This is only going to get quicker. It's going to ramp up, and Mario's going to have to provide a exceptional sprint finish to get himself back in this race and even to win it.
Mola is looking at the heels of teammate Javier Gomez now, who's in turn staring at Christian Blumenfeld, who seems to be finding extra gears with every pace across the cobbles here. And Blumenfeld is steaming in front here, looking for his first World Triathlon Series win, aiming to become the first Norwegian ever to win a World Triathlon Series competition. And Luis is going with him, but Gomez can't. Gomez appears to be the next one to break, as Luis and Blumenfeld go shoulder to shoulder with 400 meters left to run.
Wow, and we're absolutely loving this finale here. Blumenfeld, Luis, incredibly strong. I can't call it. They both look like track runners to me at the moment. They both look like sprinters.
I think Vincent Louis is feeling really good. If you look at his face, he looks relaxed. His stride is smooth. We're seeing Mola come back in and overtake Gomez, who's just fading in these final stages. But I think it's a two-horse race. I don't see Mola catching up these two guys. And I think Vincent Louis is going to have the performance of his life today.
Vincent Louis kicks away from Christian Blumenfeld, whose latest chance of recording a World Series win appears to have disappeared now. Vincent Louis is clear of the field and onto the final stretch. He has timed this to perfection. The grand final of the 2017 World Triathlon Series will be won by the Frenchman Vincent Louis, who enjoys his run up the blue carpet to celebrate victory in Rotterdam. Vincent Louis wins the final race of the season. It's second for Christian Blumenfeld. Clearly a little disappointed with that. He wanted the win. And Mario Mola is on the podium. He is the 2017 World Triathlon Series champion. It's a fourth place following all his efforts of the last couple of weeks for Javier Gomez. The 5 times world champion congratulates the man who's just won it for the second time, and it's a second World Series win for Vincent Louis, the winner in Rotterdam today. Johnny Brownlee has just finished in 5th position. He left all his best efforts out on the streets of Stockholm a couple of weeks ago. He's down in 5th with Richard Murray in 6th place, some 40 seconds behind. Well, what a conclusion to the season.